Thank you, Chairman Barrasso and Ranking Member Carper. Chairwoman Svinicki, I've repeatedly raised my concerns with NRC's internal safety culture with you. In the past, when I've raised these issues, you have stated that the commissioners have an open door policy and have instituted agency-wide training on how to have tough conversations, and I appreciate those responses. Yet I do not believe that you've gone far enough in making your workforce feel valued. NRC recently published the results of several internal polls that were administered as part of a staff jam. Thousands of staff participated, and when asked if NRC needed to change its culture, 82.23% agreed that a change is needed. Only 6.76% of the staff that responded disagreed that a culture change is needed. Chairwoman Svinicki, do you agree that the Commission must take additional steps to improve the workplace atmosphere for NRC employees?
Thank you, Senator Duckworth. The jam was a wonderful opportunity for us to, I think, hear the voices of some employees that maybe wouldn't have participated in other more formal survey or outreach. And so we do take that result very seriously. I think that there is an element of the expression of changing our culture that has to do with the overall modernization, the new technologies we're confronting. We have, under the Executive Director for Operations, established an initiative with a staff-led team that is looking at agency culture specifically. Their work is ongoing. They're engaging a lot of the agency staff, and I would depict it as kind of not a top-down, but more of a grassroots staff dialogue about what should the agency's desired culture be. So we have work ongoing on that, and more to come, that as that group completes its work and makes recommendations, we can engage you and the committee members on that.
I would appreciate it, but it's not just some, it's literally thousands took part in your jam. So it's not just a handful of people, it's thousands of your employees. Why did the NRC remove the results of this jam from the website? It was up for a while, we were able to access it, and I'd like for you to submit them to committee as they were originally published.
I'm not aware of that. May I take that for the record in your request, and we'll respond to you? I wasn't aware of the status of the jam results.
Right. It was online, and now it's no longer there. So I'd like a copy of the original as published.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
The staff at NRC have made several asks of leadership, including ensuring follow-through, facilitating teamwork, trusting and supporting staff, stay open to feedback, and be accountable. Will these 5 things be part of that work group as they're working on culture?
I think that the group has taken these jam indicators and feedback into consideration, but again, it's dynamic. That group is really working hard on this, and I'd like to give you kind of what are the basic metrics that they're looking at in that group. I'd like to get that for the record for you to be more precise.
Okay. Well, will you personally, what are you going to personally do to prioritize these very reasonable requests coming from your workforce?
I think the Commission, to a person, does try to lead by example, but as you've noted, there's thousands of employees, and we ourselves need to model the appropriate agency culture, but it really needs to be designed and driven. The staff needs to tell us, and the feedback you're talking about is their input to what they'd like to see in a desired culture. I have worked other places in government, and I think that NRC's effort to have deliberative decision-making with input and participatory decision-making is something that is a great focus of the agency. And I think that gets to some of the indicators you mentioned, is hearing every voice, getting the differing views out, and having that be part of collaborative decision-making at the agency.
Well, I think it's important for you to send the message to your staff that you support this effort. I'd like to hear from the remainder of the commission members. I'd like to hear from you as well about the culture and whether or not you think the culture needs to be changed. And do you support these very reasonable requests that came out of the jam?
Well, I agree with you and with the chairman that it needs to be a focus for all of us. You know, one of the things I've been heartened by over the last few years, when we do have controversial issues, safety issues that come up before the agency, we're seeing the staff more and more send us papers that include the variety of perspectives within the staff, because it's not, you know, the staff is not one monolithic entity. People have different views about it, and if folks have safety concerns about taking a certain step, we want to hear those, and we're seeing that more and more, people coming forward and building that right into the products that are coming up for decision for us. I'm encouraged by that, but I agree with you, it has to remain a focus. I know the Inspector General is going to be doing a safety culture survey. That'll give us an additional update on where we are on this, but I agree with you. That needs to be a main area of focus.
Thank you.
So I would just support what Commissioner Barron said. I mean, we are going to have the upcoming safety culture survey, which gets, I think, at some of the things that you're focused on. But one of the things that I appreciated most about the Futures Jam was the opportunity for employees to have this forum to present wide-ranging views and to have open discussions about things like our concurrence process, and does it take too long? Is it not thorough enough? And to really get a full discussion among their peers where they can all voice an opinion. So I think there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from just the level of contribution and the enthusiasm that people presented in sharing those opinions and looking for things that the agency can do better.
Thank you, Senator. And I agree with what my colleagues are saying, but I would like to add, I mean, from a personal point of view, I believe we've got a model of what we are trying to implement. And so I do walk the halls. I go to offices and cubicles and try to meet people in person where they work. And one of the things that I think that does is it recognizes people, it empowers people, it encourages them to come to you and actually take your open door policy seriously and to share those ideas with you. And within the agency, we've got the Embark Studio that started, and they in that area, people are freely coming in with new ideas and trying to push change, and which is going to change our culture in a very good way.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I have a second question I'd like to ask the panel to respond in writing. And I also ask unanimous consent to introduce a fact sheet titled "Your Rights Under the Energy Reorganization Act" as part of that.
Without objection.
Thank you.